Hello and welcome to My Green Montgomery. I'm Susan Stark. There's a good reason for everyone to want a green Montgomery County. For some, it's to preserve our natural beauty. For others, it's to reduce our carbon footprint and live more sustainably. And still for others, it's about saving green money every day. Whatever your reason, we'll tell you how you can find information and resources to achieve your green goals. Coming up, the county expands its ability to recycle and has put up solar panels for energy independence. Plus, we visit a local Montgomery County public school where they've installed a rain garden. But first, as part of Montgomery County's commitment to achieving energy efficiency, the county purchased 16 new Chevrolet Bolt electric vehicles that will be used by the Montgomery County Department of General Services and other agencies for miscellaneous purposes.
We are one of only two jurisdictions, local jurisdictions in the United States, New York City and Montgomery County, that have done a purchase of Chevy Bolts to introduce them into our fleet. We've purchased 16, and we're very excited about what these represent as far as the county's investment in a green fleet, and also lowering our operating and maintenance costs because of the nature and design of an electric vehicle.
I think what it does is it shows us that we could provide a fleet that is cost efficient, environmentally sustainable, and I think they also look nice. The cars look very nice, and so that's part of the effort. We have to demonstrate by example, and we're doing that in Montgomery County.
These 16 new Bolts are replacing 15 Chevrolet Cavaliers and Cobalts and a Toyota Prius that are all being retired from service to the county. The Chevrolet Bolt is a 100% electric-powered vehicle that utilizes energy stored in a lithium-ion battery pack.
Montgomery County government has been into alternative fuels since the 90s, since the early 90s, and so our viewpoint has always been that we're technology neutral. So we tend to look at we tend to look at the advantages and disadvantages of every type of technology and figure out how best to apply them. The benefits of that strategy is that as the industries tend to grow or start to get a footprint and start to release different types of vehicles, we're in a great place to begin utilization. So for us, we had already started working with some electric vehicles, but there were limitations in the existing electric vehicle fleet. We had ranges under 100 miles, so for some of our end users that may have missions that get around the county, they weren't very efficient for us to use or be able to deploy across the board. So that early work of working on those vehicles and putting in charging stations early allowed us to be able to jump right in on these.
Well, we are right now working with a standard plan to deploy charging stations. When we're building new buildings, the Gaithersburg Library is a great example right near Boer Park here. We installed charging stations for the general public's use. These are level 2 charging stations, so they can go in, read books, and spend time with the family, and when they come out, their vehicle can be charged up. We're doing this in all of our new county facilities, as well as heavy investment in green technology to make our buildings operate more efficiently, just like we want our fleet to.
Can you imagine 200 tons of paper and cardboard? Well, that's exactly what is being processed for recycling daily into the mixed paper processing facility at the Recycling Center in Durwood. Executive Ike Leggett and representatives from the Department of Environmental Protection did a tour of the new expanded facility to take a closer look at what takes place there.
What we essentially did was to provide this to an outside contractor. The contractor then will take that and put it in bulk and resell it, if you will, back to the general public in some form or fashion. We are now going to do all of that, at least a substantial part of that, in-house, so that we will be capturing the revenue. We will be operating through our new facility the process that we heretofore had with a private contractor.
The baled paper is sent domestically and internationally to be recycled into reusable materials such as cereal boxes, printer paper, paper bags, cardboard boxes, and pizza boxes. The annual sale revenue for the baled paper is approximately $3 million. The new facility has an important role in helping DEP to meet a 70% recycling goal by 2020. For more information about recycling, go to montgomerycountymd.gov/recycling. When we come back, the county flips the switch to generate green energy. Stay with us.
You wouldn't let money just blow out of your house. So when your AC or heater is on, make sure the doors, windows, and fireplace flue are shut tight. If you're headed out, turn down the AC or lower the heat by 10 degrees. And always keep your water heater set at 120. A little bit of common sense goes a long way. Get more great tips at energysaver.gov.
Here's your chance to save money and help the environment. Bring your reusable bag when you shop and you'll save 5 cents for every store bag you don't need. Retailers in Montgomery County charge 5 cents for the plastic or paper bags they provide. Why? Because plastic bags are the biggest single source of stream and waterway litter, causing pollution and flooding. And every year, Montgomery County spends $3 million on cleanup. So do yourself and the environment a favor. Bring your reusable bag when you shop, you'll fight litter and keep the change.
In Montgomery County, we have a goal to reduce waste and recycle 70% of all waste by 2020. By recycling and reducing waste, we save natural resources and make our community even better. So recycle at home, work, school, everywhere, and keep recycling going. For more information, call the Montgomery County, Maryland Division of Solid Waste Services at 311 or visit montgomerycountymd.gov/recycling.
Keep it going. Recycle more now.
3, 2, 1, up!
Montgomery County officials are celebrating the completion of the largest solar project in a county facility. With a throw of a switch, this marks the 15th facility in Montgomery County to transition into solar energy, moving closer to independence from the power grid.
We have the land, we have the facility next door. We also have on the correctional system itself panels as well. And so what you'll find in other county facilities, more of the traditional array of panels on top of the buildings. And all of our facilities that we can retrofit within the foreseeable future, we're going to look at them to evaluate to make certain that we can exhaust every means possible to provide the solar panels on top of it.
We have our own way in Montgomery County, and we've been able to demonstrate, and this isn't the only issue, that we can take leadership and we can make a difference at the local level. It takes really committed local leaders, and it takes a community that actually supports us in all of this.
Rows as long as 300 feet of solar panels made by Tesla are expected to produce 3.5 kilowatt hours of electricity each year, 60% of the energy used at the county's correctional facility.
We're a 24/7 maximum security correctional facility, and you know, every day through the best of circumstances and the worst of circumstances, this building has to always operate. The lights have to always work, the water has to be hot, and we have to sustain it. We have cooked meals, people that depend on us for their constitutional rights of confinement here. So having this kind of off-the-grid ability, not even being dependent on a generator, because generators can fail. This doesn't fail. It provides us sustainability.
What looks like infinite rows of panels is designed to blend with the natural environment.
We actually worked very, very hard to make this a very low impact project where we blended in well with the tree line to preserve as much of the habitat. And actually this is great. As the vegetation grows, it creates great habitat for pollinators and all sorts of animals and fauna.
By the end of 2018, solar projects on county property are expected to generate enough electricity to power the equivalent of 2,000 single-family homes and to save approximately $15 million during the next 20 years.
Proud to be in Montgomery County, where we have said to ourselves, we are committed to a sustainable future, and this is part of that sustainable future. We said to our county, we should have every county facility be able to generate its own power. And the county came back and said, Roger, I'll identify every site where we can do it. And this was one of them. And here we are today celebrating this nice accomplishment.
This is a money saver for everybody. And I know homeowners who've done this, and despite what they're paying to pay for the installation, they're still coming out ahead because their electric bills are either nothing or they're significantly reduced. And so I think it's like physically prudent to move in this direction. It's certainly environmentally prudent to move in this direction. And I think it gives more confidence to people who are looking to say, does this really work? If we can start demonstrating scale and economic effectiveness, it helps homeowners, I think, say, yeah, I can do this.
Coming up, local students create rain gardens to help keep our streams clean. We'll be right back.
Montgomery County wants to thank everyone for their commitment to recycling. We're recycling 57% of our waste, and we know you'll work with us to reduce waste and recycle even more, 70% by 2020. To protect the environment and save valuable natural resources for the future, we need to recycle all of our paper, cans, bottles, containers, scrap metal, and more. Because if you don't get serious about recycling at work now, it's going to come back and bite us.
Have you ever had a question about saving energy in your home but didn't know where to turn? Just ask the expert.
Summer is finally here, and these warm days are going to drive up your utility bill. What you can do to save money and energy this summer is to make sure your cooling system is well maintained. Changing out your air filter regularly, at least once every 3 months, will improve your airflow and help keep your system's components from working too hard. We also recommend having your cooling system checked and cleaned, both indoors and outdoors, to ensure it is operating as designed. Have your contractor check the air ducts to make sure they're not leaking or worse, disconnected. Sealing duct leaks can improve your system's performance by 20% or more. For more ways to keep cool, save energy, and fight climate change, visit EnergyStar.gov.
Local students are getting their hands dirty by creating rain gardens.
When you get your gloves on, you want to gently lift up the plant that you see right next to the hole and gently put the plant into the hole and cover it over with some earth with your hands. And then with the shovel you can kind of pack it down around the plant.
This is not just a lesson on planting. It is the final touches of installation of a bioretention garden at Strathmore Elementary School. County Executive Ike Leggett had to put his gloves on for this one and joined 5th graders in the completion of a project that started during the summer.
When it rains, where's that water going to run off?
Lessons learned in the classroom about stormwater management and reducing environmental impact translated into a rain garden that will protect streams behind 4 schools. 3 middle schools, Argyle, Newport Mill, and Sligo, along with Strathmore Elementary, participated in the installation of rain gardens at each school.
It really builds on the learning of the students and the fact that they really need to understand what they need to do to help the world. So how do you go from the learning to making an impact as they become adults and responsible citizens?
The garden collects rainwater from school rooftops and parking lots. A pipe runs across the field and diverts the water to the garden. Plants absorb the water, reducing the flow and pollutants that reach the Anacostia and Rock Creek watersheds and ultimately the Chesapeake Bay.
Who knew that a little garden in our backyard could make such an impact in the world? Our class would like to share with you what we have learned about using watersheds to keep pollution out of our streams, rivers, lakes, and oceans.
Thank Dr. Smith, Principal Nelson, but more importantly, all of our students. Thank you for that wonderful poem. It really reflected a great deal of learning on your part. We are excited about what you are doing and excited about the learning experiences. So we're going to cut. We'll call for 3, 2, 1, cut.
The county's Department of Environmental Protection and Montgomery County Public Schools constructed the projects at a cost of $1.7 million. The students who participated in the project completed an environmental education curriculum as 4th graders. Well, that's our show, and I'd like to thank you for tuning in. Remember, you can always go to mygreenmontgomery.org, your guide to living a green life in Montgomery County.
The next 30 seconds can save you a lot of money. Just do your laundry in cold and stick to full loads. Auto-sleep your computers. Plug your gadgets in a power strip and switch it off when you're done. Headed out? Turn back your thermostat by 10 degrees. And drive sensibly. The more energy you save, the more money you save. Find other great tips at energysaver.gov.